Welcome back to the Fuel Show. Still to come are In the Pit segment, where Dennis is at PIR for the Ferrari Challenge. Now in our second Behind the Wheel, Dennis and Ian headed to San Francisco to take a look at a new offering from BMW, the 335i.
All right, in QFactor, how can you not have a laundry list when you're talking about a new BMW? Available active steering, iDrive, Harman Kardon sound, great navigation system with a split screen. You have technology in the motor with the direct injection, and there's a little something about the injectors that you picked up.
Yeah, the engineer told me that they're actually crystals. They're computer controlled so that they can allow the angle of the crystal to affect the gas entering into the cylinder and thus cooling the cylinder as the car runs.
You have no idea what you just said, do you?
I don't. I'm just mimicking what the engineer said earlier.
But that's why we come to these events, so we can learn more and so you can find out more. And QFactor for us, we're going to go 4.25 on the new 3 Series, all the way down to things like the available all-wheel drive, first time ever on one of the coupes from BMW. Are you with me?
I'm with you. It's a beautiful package all in all. 425 is a solid score for it.
Absolutely.
Now in curb appeal, BMW is never lacking. I think it's a great looking car. Even traditionalists now are starting to kind of catch on to the new lines and the new looks. With the 335, it's got the big wheels and tires. It's got the, no gap between the wheel well and the tire. It looks like it's on power. It looks like it's got performance in it, and it does.
Well, I don't know if I'm ready to let Chris Bangle off the cross yet, but it's getting better and better. This new coupe shows how much they can take the new series of design looks through the BMW lineup and create one of the best things they've ever created, which was the 3 Series coupe. I, as a traditionalist, like some of the older designs, but as you just said, I'm starting to come around. This car right here is good looking. And in the BMW lineup, you have to remember the 3 Series coupe has got to be one of their highest volume sales leaders. It is the car that is approachable to a lot of people, both financially and just based on its looks. So curb appeal, I think I'm going to have to go 4.
Well, I would go maybe 4.5.
You want to compromise and say 4.25?
Yeah, let's do 4.25 for curb appeal on the new 335i from BMW.
Sport coupe without talking about the 3 Series. Now, BMW's done something a little bit different. They've added a twin turbocharged 6-cylinder with direct injection to the lineup. Now, that's something that BMW's never done before, which is turbocharging their venerable 6-cylinder. Now, with that, you would think that they would get turbo lag and detonation and whatnot, but not BMW. They added the direct injection, which adds tunability that's just outrageous. 10-to-1 compression ratio with a turbocharger setup that's adding 8 pounds of boost. Now what that does is it makes it so you can have great performance, no turbo lag, and just an incredible feel from behind the wheel. Now as we go through the loops here, you've got to add the 6-speed sequential shiftable transmission. Now it has Steptronic that's available right here to my right hand, but also on the wheel with the paddle shifters. You add that into an active steering system that is a standalone option, and you wrap it up into one great group. One of the things that I have to add on overall feel for this car is the performance of the BMW 3 Series is something that is expected, and with this car, you get it. We're gonna have to say that out of 4 out of 5, that is the score I'm gonna give it.
Now we're not talking about the 7 Series or the 5 Series, which always score off the charts for us. It's the new entry-level 3 Series, this time the 335i from BMW.
Now you have to remember this is still a vehicle that's built on an assembly line with robots and items that aren't really hand-built or handcrafted item by item. It is a high production volume car by BMW standards. Now, I'm not knocking the vehicle, or we're not trying to be harsh on it, but you got to remember first-year vehicles sometimes have glitches. With a lot of the new technology wrapped into this car, like the crystal fuel injection items that we had to have an engineer explain to us, it makes us a little hesitant to go high on fit and finish when there's things in the car that we don't even understand. So overall, it's still a BMW. We're going to go 3.75 on fit and finish. What do you think?
Yeah, I think 375 is definitely a solid score for it. I mean, with the new twin turbos, the new all-wheel drive system first being offered this year on the new 3 Series, there's just a lot of things that we got to wait to kind of iron themselves out and see how they work out in the long run. But 375 for fit and finish is for that, the new 335i.
Watch out for next year, though.
In regard to drivability, there are two main features this year in the new 335i. The first, an inline six with a twin turbo. It's the first time they've ever offered the six with a twin turbo in BMW cars. And also, it's the first time they've ever offered the optional all-wheel drive in their two-door. The two other things that I'd like to get to are the 50-50 balance, which is one of the most important things that you'll ever find in a BMW 3 Series, and it's something that they wanted to stay true to again in this incarnation of the vehicle. It's got run flat tires, so you lose the extra weight of the spare in the back, as well as, having an added safety and added feature of being able to drive on the tire that's flat to the next gas station to get it repaired. It's got speed-sensitive steering, which what it does is when you're going slower, it's easier to steer. The faster you go, it tightens up and becomes more of a performance package. One of the other neat features is it's got a great exhaust note. The engine with the twin turbos, it's a real purr for the BMW. It's got 18-inch wheels that grip the surface of the road really well, and it's got optional iDrive as well as the BMW Assist, which is kind of like OnStar that is now featured by BMW. One other neat feature is it's got a hidden storage compartment in the trunk. You don't have to hide stuff under the seat anymore. You got a little hideaway storage spot in the trunk, just specially built in this new 335i. In drivability, it's a great car. Overall, I'd probably give it a 4.25.
Let's see how Dennis and Ian scored the BMW 335i. For QFactor, they gave it a 4.25. When we got to curb appeal, it was a 4.25 as well. In performance, a 4.0. And fit and finish, a 3.75. And finally, in drivability, a 4.25. That gives the BMW 335i 20.5 out of a possible 25. Still to come, we have our In the Pit segment, where Dennis is at Portland International Raceway for the Ferrari Challenge.
That wraps up Behind the Wheel for this week on Fuel. Now remember, if you want to find out more information on these vehicles or anything you've seen on Fuel, go to the website, thefuelshow.com.